Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Ryan. We're so glad to have you here with us today on Speak Up. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you've been with us for a while, welcome back. This podcast is all about helping real people, just like you, learn to speak English in a simple, natural way. No pressure, no stress, just real conversations that help you grow step by step.
And I'm Priya. We know English can feel confusing sometimes, especially with all those grammar rules. But here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect to speak confidently. What matters is being understood, and that's what we're here to help you with. In every episode, we keep things easy to follow and practical so you can use what you learn right away.
We've both worked with learners from all walks of life, students, office workers, business owners, and one thing we've seen again and again is this. The best English speakers don't memorize grammar rules. They use the language. So if you've been stuck with textbooks, don't worry, you're in the right place.
Exactly. We're going to show you how to improve your English naturally. And in today's episode, we're tackling a big question: how to learn English without studying grammar. So grab a cup of tea, relax, and let's jump right in.
So we've talked a lot about how learning English can feel stressful and confusing, especially when grammar rules start to pile up. But today we're going in a totally different direction. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan. Welcome to Speak Up. Whether you're listening during your morning tea or on your way to work, we're so glad you're here. This podcast is for people who want to speak English with confidence without feeling like they're stuck in a classroom.
And I'm Priya, so happy to be with you. You know, we meet so many learners who say, I've studied grammar for years, but I still can't speak fluently. If that sounds like you, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not doing anything wrong. The way English is usually taught just doesn't work for everyone. That's why we're here, to give you a different way.
Exactly. And here's the big question we want to explore today. Can you really learn English without studying grammar? I know that sounds strange, right? But trust me, it's not only possible, it might actually be the best way for you. We're going to unpack that idea step by step using real-life tips you can actually use.
I love that question, because most of us were taught to believe that grammar comes first. But think about this. When a child learns to speak, do they study grammar first? Nope. They listen, they copy, they use what they hear. That natural process is way more powerful than memorizing grammar charts. And yes, it works for adults too.
Yeah, and just a quick heads up, this episode isn't about ignoring grammar completely. We're just saying it doesn't need to be the starting point. You don't need to know all the rules to start speaking. In fact, sometimes knowing too many rules just slows you down and makes you overthink everything.
So true. And here's something exciting to keep in mind. Later in this episode, we're going to share one simple daily habit that fluent English speakers use without ever opening a grammar book. It's easy, it's powerful, and it could completely change how you learn English. But before we get there, let's first talk about why grammar might not be the hero you think it is.
So, let's get right into it. Why is grammar often overrated when it comes to speaking English? Well, here's the truth. When you focus too much on grammar, your brain gets stuck. You start thinking, wait, is it have been or has been? And by the time you decide, the moment to speak is gone. Instead of talking freely, you're constantly checking yourself. And that's the biggest block to fluency. If you want to speak English naturally, you've got to stop trying to be perfect.
Exactly. I've worked with so many students who could explain complex grammar rules like passive voice or conditionals, but when it came to ordering coffee or chatting with a friend, they froze. Why? Because they never practiced using English in real situations. They only practiced analyzing it. That's the problem. You don't gain English fluency without grammar. You gain it by building confidence through real conversation.
I once had a student named Ahmed, super smart guy. He knew all the tenses, could even correct my grammar sometimes. But in group discussions, total silence. He told me, I'm afraid of making mistakes. That's what grammar obsession does. It creates fear. And when you're afraid to speak, your English can't grow. You have to let go of the idea that everything must be correct before you open your mouth.
Yes, it's like trying to drive a car by studying the manual every day, but never getting in the driver's seat. You might understand how the gears work, but you'll never actually drive. The same goes for English. If you only study grammar rules, you're missing the actual experience of using the language. You need to speak English naturally, not like a grammar textbook.
And here's something that surprises a lot of learners. Native speakers break grammar rules all the time. We say things like, I ain't got none, or gonna instead of going to. But guess what? No one cares. What matters is whether you're understood. So if you're trying to stop studying grammar and start speaking, focus on being clear, not perfect.
Right. Clear communication is what really matters. We've seen so many learners finally make progress when they stop overthinking grammar and just start speaking. Even simple sentences, even mistakes, it's all part of learning. And the more you speak, the faster you'll build fluency. Remember, confidence beats perfection every time.
Let's talk about something powerful, how kids learn to speak. Think about it. Babies don't study grammar books. They listen to people around them, copy the sounds, and try things out. That's how they learn language. It's all about input, hearing the language again and again. If you want to learn English like a child, you need to stop worrying about rules and start surrounding yourself with real English every day.
Exactly. This is called natural English learning. Instead of thinking, what's the rule for past perfect? Just focus on how English sounds in real life. Watch simple YouTube videos in English. Listen to English podcasts. Pay attention to how native speakers talk in daily conversations. Your brain will start picking up patterns without needing to study them. It's just like how a child learns.
One of the best ways to build listening for fluency is by making English part of your routine. When you're doing the dishes, play a podcast. When you're waiting for the bus, listen to an English song. Don't treat English like a school subject. Treat it like a friend you hang out with every day. The more input you get, the more natural your speaking will become.
And here's the thing, this works for adults too, not just children. Your brain is still capable of learning through input. The key is to relax and trust the process. If you hear real English again and again, your speaking and understanding will improve without needing to memorize grammar rules. That's what natural English learning really means, immersing yourself in the language in simple, daily ways.
Yes, you don't need a classroom, you need connection. Think of how a child points to a toy and says the word. It's about linking meaning with sound. So when you watch a video or hear a phrase like, "What's up?" you're not just hearing sounds, you're learning how real people speak. That's the power of input.
So true. And one more tip. Don't be afraid to repeat what you hear. Just like kids repeat what their parents say, you can repeat sentences from videos or podcasts. That's how you start to sound natural. The more you do it, the more confident and fluent you'll become without ever opening a grammar book.
Now let's get into one of the most effective ways to speak English confidently, learning real-life phrases. This method is called chunking. Instead of building sentences word by word using grammar rules, you learn full phrases like, "How's it going?" or "Could you help me with this?" These chunks are used every day by native speakers. They save you time, sound natural, and take the pressure off when you speak. This is English speaking practice that actually works.
Yes. When you learn English phrases instead of rules, you sound more natural and feel more confident. Think of it like this. Grammar is like learning all the ingredients, but phrases are like ready-to-eat meals. You don't need to cook from scratch every time. Just use the phrases people already use. Things like, "I'll get back to you," "That sounds great," or "I'm not sure about that." These are golden for daily English conversation.
Let's do a quick role play to show how this works in real life. Ready, Priya?
Always. Go ahead.
Acting. "Hey, Priya, how's it going?"
Not bad, just a bit busy. Could you help me with this report later?
"Sure, I'll get back to you after lunch."
Perfect. That whole mini conversation used chunks, not grammar rules. No one paused to think, what tense should I use? It just flowed naturally.
Exactly. And the best part is you can practice these chunks daily. Write them down, speak them out loud, or use them in your day-to-day life. Over time, they'll become automatic. That's the power of English speaking practice. You don't need to think, you just speak.
So true. Start by picking 5 or 6 common phrases and use them every day. Say, "How was your day?" instead of trying to build a perfect sentence. These simple steps create big results. Daily English conversation becomes easy once you have a bank of go-to phrases ready in your mind.
Here's another powerful way to boost your English fluency without using grammar rules, through storytelling. It's simple. Take a short story, even something that happened in your day, and retell it in your own words. This helps you organize your thoughts in English without getting stuck on grammar. English storytelling builds confidence because you're not translating. You're expressing yourself directly, like a native speaker.
Yes, it's one of my favorite methods. You don't need big words or complex grammar. Just start with a small event. Like, this morning, I missed my bus, so I had to walk to work. That's already a story. The more you do it, the more natural your speaking becomes. And it trains your brain to think in English, which is a big step towards fluency.
The second technique is called shadowing. This is a fantastic tool for English pronunciation practice and fluency. Here's how it works. You listen to a native speaker, maybe in a video or podcast, and you repeat what they say immediately after them. You copy the tone, speed, and rhythm. It feels strange at first, but it really works. This is called shadowing for fluency, and it helps you sound much more natural.
Let's show a quick demo for our listeners. Ryan, say a sentence naturally, and I'll shadow you right after.
Sure, here we go. Hey, I was just wondering if you're free this weekend.
Hey, I was just wondering if you're free this weekend.
Nice. See how Priya copied the flow, not just the words? That's the key. It's not about repeating like a robot. It's about absorbing how English really sounds. If you do just 5 minutes of shadowing a day, your speaking will improve fast.
Absolutely. And when you combine English storytelling with shadowing, you train your ears, your mouth, and your brain all at once. These two techniques are fun, powerful, and perfect for people who want to improve without studying grammar. Just choose a story you like or a video clip and start practicing today.
Let's get real. If you want to speak English fluently, you need a simple routine that actually fits into your life. That's why we've put together a powerful 15 to 20-minute English practice routine you can do at home every day. No grammar books, no stress, just easy steps that build your confidence. All you need is a phone, a pair of earphones, and a little time.
And the best part, you don't have to sit for hours. Just give 5 minutes to each activity. Let's break it down. First, 5 minutes of listening. It could be an English podcast, a short YouTube video, or even a scene from a TV show. Don't try to understand every word. Just listen and let your brain absorb the rhythm and flow of natural speech. That's where English fluency at home begins.
Next, 5 minutes of shadowing. Play that same clip again, and this time speak along with the speaker. Repeat sentence by sentence. Try to match the tone, pace, and pronunciation. It might feel awkward at first, but it's a game changer. This habit improves how you sound and how confident you feel. These are the daily English speaking habits that get real results.
Then comes the fun part. 5 minutes of speaking into a voice recorder. Just talk. You can describe your day, tell a short story, or talk about something you like. Don't worry about mistakes. Just speak freely. Then play it back and listen. This is how you train yourself to think and speak in English without needing grammar rules.
Finally, 5 minutes of using your learned phrases during the day. Maybe say, "Thanks a lot" to a coworker, or "I'll get back to you in a message." Even if you're just talking to yourself in the mirror, use those phrases you've practiced. This step makes everything real. It connects what you've learned with daily life. And that's how English fluency at home really builds.
And let's be clear, it's not about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it consistently. That's the real secret. A short, simple routine done daily will help you grow faster than any grammar lesson ever could. So if you're looking to develop strong daily English speaking habits, this 20-minute practice is your starting point. Stick with it, and you'll see results.
Let's be honest. Many learners avoid speaking English because they're scared of making mistakes. But here's the truth. You can't improve if you don't try. To speak English with confidence, you have to use it in real situations. Talk to friends, coworkers, or even language partners online. You don't need to sound perfect. You just need to get your message across. That's what real conversation is about.
Exactly. Real English speaking isn't about sounding like a dictionary. It's about being understood. And guess what? Native speakers make grammar mistakes all the time. They say ain't, they mix up tenses, they drop words, and no one cares. What really matters is connection. If you say, "Me go store now," people still understand you. That's the power of confidence over correctness.
I remember one of my students tried to say, "I'm excited," but instead said, "I'm exited," like they had just left a building. We both laughed so hard, but it actually made her less afraid to speak because the moment was real and fun. That's the point. When you laugh at your mistakes, you stop fearing them. That's when English without fear really starts.
Totally. I once told a native speaker, "I have a big hungry," instead of "I'm very hungry." And you know what? They just smiled and said, "Me too." That moment reminded me people aren't judging. In fact, they usually admire your effort. So speak up, even if it's messy. You're learning, and every mistake brings progress.
Think of it like learning to ride a bike. You don't read the manual for 6 months first. You hop on, wobble, fall, and try again. That's how you learn. It's the same with English. Every time you speak, you build real experience. So get out there and practice. That's how you speak English with confidence, not by memorizing grammar.
So next time you hesitate, remember this. No one ever became fluent by staying silent. Real English speaking is all about practice, patience, and having the courage to speak up, even if it's not perfect. Trust the process, have fun with your mistakes, and let your voice be heard. That's how you grow.
Finally, let's talk about full English exposure, the immersion method. If you really want to grow fast, turn your entire environment into an English zone. It's like living in an English-speaking country without leaving your home. Start small. Change your phone settings to English. Switch your apps. Use Google in English. The goal is to see and hear English all around you. That's English immersion, and it works.
Yes, learning English by environment is powerful because your brain starts picking up the language naturally. For example, watch your favorite shows in English with subtitles. Read simple English articles. And here's one of my favorite tricks: talk to yourself in English. Seriously, while you're cooking, walking, or doing chores, say your thoughts out loud. Like, "I'm boiling water," or "It's a sunny day." It trains your brain to think in English.
That's such a good habit. I do it too. Even describing what you're doing helps your mind stay in English mode. And the best part, it doesn't feel like studying. It just becomes part of your lifestyle. You're not adding extra time. You're using the time you already have. That's how English immersion fits naturally into your day.
Right, and you don't have to be perfect. You might mix up words or forget a phrase, but it's still progress. Every moment you spend surrounded by English helps you grow. Whether it's reading product labels in English or watching a funny English reel, it all adds up. It's a full, immersive experience right from your own space.
And with that, we're wrapping up today's episode. We hope this gave you real, practical ways to speak English naturally without drowning in grammar rules. If you follow even one or two of these tips, you'll notice a big shift in your fluency and confidence.
Thank you so much for spending time with us on Speak Up. Whether you're walking, cooking, or just relaxing, we're so happy you joined us today. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and don't forget,
Your voice matters.
We'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, stay confident, stay curious, and keep speaking up.
Bye, everyone.